Wilfredo R. Bernales, reading the TH sound. The throng of Thuringian thermometers. The throng of thermometers from the Thuringian thermometers. Fox arrived Thursday. There were 1,033 thick thermometers, though, instead of 1,036 thin thermometers, which was 3 thermometers fewer than the 1,036 we were expecting, not to mention that there were thick ones rather than the thin ones. We truly thought that we had ordered 1,036, not 1,033 thermometers, and asked the Thuringian thermometer, Fox to the ship the 3 thermometers rather than 1,036 and promised to replace the thick thermometers with thin thermometers. Reading the S sound. A Shirley Sergeant. A Shirley Sergeant soak an insolent sailor Sen. A Shirley Sergeant from Cisco, Texas, saw a sailor sit silently on a small seat reserved for youngsters. He stayed for several minutes, while thoughts swarmed around. Sam asked the sailor to cease and desist, but sneered in his face. Sam was so incensed that he considered it sufficient incentive to soak the sailor. The sailor stood there for a second, astonished, and then strolled away. Sam was so perplexed, but satisfied, and the thoughts scampered like ants over to the seesaw. Reading the Z sound. All's well that ends well. A lazy Thursday at the zoo found the zebras grazing, posing for pictures, and teasing the zookeeper, whose nose was bronzed by the sun. The biggest zebra's name was Zachary, but his friends called him Zach. Zach was confusing Zebra, whose zeal for reason caused his cousins, who were naturally unreasoning, to pause in their conversations. While they browsed, he philosophized. As they grazed, he practiced Zen, because they were Zach's cousins. The zebras said nothing, but they wished he would muzzle himself at times. Reading the A sound. The Tane Mane. A fashionably thin man sat casually at the bait stand, lashing a handful of practical bets. The manager, a crabby old bag of bones, passed by and laughed. "You're about average, Jack. Can't you lash faster than that?" Jack had had enough, so he clambered to his feet and lashed bets faster than any man had ever lashed bets. As a matter of fact, he lashed bets so fast that he seemed to dance. The manager was aghast. "Jack, you're a master bet lasher," he gasped, satisfied at last. Jack sat back and never lashed another bet. Reading the A sound. At Lang of Lang. Hat walks in the garden. John was not sorry when the boss called off the walks in the garden. Obviously, to him, it was awful hot, and the walks were far too long. He had not thought that walking would have caught on the way it did, and he fought the policy from the onset. At first, he thought he could walk it over at the law office and have it quashed, but a small obstacle halted the thought. The top lawyers always bought coffee at the shop across the lawn and they didn't want to stop on John's account. John's problem was not office politics, but office policy. He resolved the problem by bombing the garden.